So, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can use video ads to set in-person home evaluations for yourself on autopilot. There's sort of 3/4 main steps to this whole process. The first thing that we're going to be actually covering is the strategy that you'd be putting forward and what's actually worked for us, giving you some ideas of what could work in your market. The second step would be the actual execution. So setting up these campaigns, the best practices, the kind of scripts to use, the frameworks that we use in order to see the best results. And then the third step is what to actually do when you start seeing results. And then the fourth step is what happens after that, but we can get into that when we get there. So those are the three main steps that make up our entire video ad strategy in order to book in-person home evaluations on autopilot. And just to show you that this does actually work, one of our clients, Justin, got 14 in-person home evaluations booked in his first month of launching with us, bringing him 4 new active listings that month, and obviously the rest of them still being in the pipeline. Because most people aren't able to drop everything and move right that instant, but those 4 still were able to. And he got that all off of only a $20 a day ad spend with next to zero work on his end. He just had to sit down for 5 minutes, record 3 to 4 30-second clips, 40-second clips, and that's it. After that, the home evaluations were just booked right into his calendar. Now I'm going to be breaking down more specifically the in-person home evaluation strategy that we used for him, but this applies to all video ads in general, no matter the kind of offer that you decide to run. So based on his goals and what he wanted to achieve, he only wanted to add sellers to his business because he already had more than enough buyers. And because of that, we decided that the first seller lead magnet that we were going to try out was going to be offering free in-person home evaluations. So essentially, instead of just offering like those quick online estimators, we leveraged the fact that they can often be inaccurate and created scarcity and urgency around getting their home evaluated in person, because what they're seeing online could be completely off from what their house is actually worth. And then on top of that, naturally, face-to-face appointments just have higher conversion rates because people are a lot more committed if they meet with you in person. If they meet with you over the phone, they can just like block your number or flake. But if you meet in person, you're more likely to establish an actual human-to-human connection and build a bond, just because it's a lot more easier to feel connected to someone if they, it's just a lot easier to build a connection with someone. And as a side note, the agent actually wanted in-person meetings set up because he was tired of all the online BS. His whole philosophy around the way he does business is back to the basics. So he has the time and he has the care and the intent to meet with these people face-to-face and help them. For example, one of the in-person home evaluations that we booked for him, he was helping them renovate their house, paint their walls. That's just the kind of guy he is. Now, the reason that we decided to launch these video ads on YouTube instead of Facebook or Instagram, for example, is because Facebook and Instagram is sort of like a volume game. You're going to get a lot more people, but they're going to be lower quality. Once again, for this agent, based on his goals and what he wanted, he was really shooting for quality. And so that means that we pivoted over to YouTube. YouTube is strong because Google owns YouTube, so these ads will be being shown to anyone who's already searched and shown interest in purchasing a home in the near future, as opposed to Facebook, which is kind of like a billboard, and it just shows these ads to people who it thinks might want to see them. So just to recap, when you're actually setting up a strategy for video ads, you need to figure out your goal, what you actually want to achieve from these. And then you also need to establish a lead magnet that you're going to use in order to bring in clients, some kind of free value that you're offering in return for their contact information. And then you're going to decide, do you want more quality or do you want more quantity? And set up the campaigns on the appropriate platform. Now, regardless what platform you use, the scripting of these video ads is very important. So a lot of the time, I'll see some random agent's ad pop up on my feed, and they start the video off with something like, "Hello, my name is Jenny with XYZ Realty. Lost it. No one cares." Isn't that right, Luna? No one cares. First of all, you're not starting the video with anything attention grabbing. People spend their entire days online nowadays and their attention span is shot. So you need to capture that attention within the first second with something interesting. Introducing yourself isn't doing that. Can you stop? Yes, I know. I know this is a very, very interesting topic. Okay, let me tell the people about how to run video ads. I know you want more in-person home evaluations, but I'm not going to give you any. So get off. Either you stop or you get off. Capiche? Okay, you're off. So, like I was saying, introducing yourself or showcasing some listings that you have for example, is all good for awareness if you just simply want more people to know your name. But a lot of time that doesn't bring you much use in real estate. You need to capture people's contact information in order to then potentially reach out to them and work together. So the way that you do that is using this framework. You start off with a hook. You introduce a problem to the viewer. Maybe it's a problem that they weren't aware of before. Maybe it's a problem that they were aware of. Regardless, you dig into that pain point. Then you provide a solution to that problem based off your services, your offer, your lead magnet, whatever it is. And then you have a call to action at the end of the video that they have to take in order to solve their problem. So it's just the logical next step. So just to recap, you get their attention, you introduce a problem, you provide a solution to the problem, and you get them to take action. Instead of just, hello, my name is Bob, I'm a very good agent in this city, and if you need any help selling or buying a house, you should give me a call. No one's gonna do that. Think about it. If you're gonna go buy a car and you saw a car salesman saying those exact words, would you then go with that car salesman? Probably not. You're just gonna think they want my money. So if you take the time to actually spark their curiosity, make them problem aware, show them why it matters to them, then solve their problem and provide the next steps for them to take. That's how you lower that resistance and build that trust with them before they've even spoke to you. Now this is all pretty vague, so let me break it down a little bit more in depth. The goal of the hook is to stop their scroll and make them realize, wait, this is about me. It's a pattern interrupt. Like I said, these people's dopamine receptors are fried. They're just scrolling. If nothing catches their attention, they keep scrolling. That's how internet works nowadays. So you need something to stop their scroll. Something that stops people's scrolls is a pattern interrupt. For example, before you sell your home in location, or there's something you need to know, or most homeowners leave money on the table when they sell because XYZ. That just gives you some ideas for a hook in your offer or in your lead magnet or in your video ads. Now, next step, the problem. The goal is to create an emotional tension around what's at stake and that you understand their situation. It's to make you seem like an expert because they haven't talked to too many people about what they're going through. So the core principle is to identify an actual common challenge, a misconception or missed opportunity in the market. It's to make them feel uncomfortable, dig into that pain like I mentioned earlier. For example, many people struggle / overlook or get misled when it comes to this aspect or buying or selling. So more concrete example would be like, if we're talking specifically about in-person home evaluations, many people leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table when selling, or many people use online estimators that are usually tens of thousands of dollars off, something like that. So you present your lead magnet as the solution to their problem in the unique way that you solve the problem better or differently. So you explain what makes your approach stand out. It could be personal attention, accurate data, exclusive access, or just your local expertise. For example, I've already helped dozens of homeowners sell in your exact situation or in your exact neighborhood. Something that positions you, once again, as the authority, as the expert. So for example, instead of relying on old generic solution, we used unique process data or system to achieve a better outcome. You finally introduce your offer that should be a no-brainer to anyone who is in this exact position. It should make them feel stupid for missing out on your offer. And so finally, to actually get them to take action on your offer, you end the video with a CTA. This is the very end of the video where a lot of realtors would say something along the lines of, I'm looking forward to meeting you and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if anything comes up, I'm always here for you. That doesn't give people any kind of clear direction or path to take in order to solve their problem. You need to hand that to them in the form of a CTA. And the goal is to just turn interest into action with a clear, low friction next step. And you have to focus on making the action simple, quick, and beneficial, not salesy in any kind of way. So just tap the button and get access and learn more and see and find out. It only takes a few seconds. It should feel like it's very, very low input on their behalf. Because if you make it sound complicated, they're not going to want to do it. So that is the framework that we follow for scripting our videos. And that is what has gotten us the best results time and time again. And it's what we use in our video ads as well. Now, the next step is the actual split testing of these scripts. So when we made these video ads for Justin, we made a version of the script that was energetic. We made a version of the script that was calm and professional, and we made a version of the script that was curiosity engaging. So just to be clear, we split tested both different scripts, so slightly altering between version 1, version 2, and version 3, the actual words that were being said, but then also split testing the levels of energy that would perform the best, or just the tone or the setting of the video. Surprisingly enough, the one that worked best was the one that was extremely energetic. Like, for example, attention homeowners. And I mean, it's not surprising considering that that is what would grab attention the most. So when you're coming up with these ads, it's also very important for you to set up multiple different versions in order to split test what would actually work best for you. Because at the end of the day, if you only make one ad, run it for a while, it doesn't work, then you have to sit down, script another one, run it for even longer. If it doesn't work again, you have to do that all over again. And that's just where agents a lot of time give up and decide that advertising doesn't work. When in reality, they just didn't do it right and they didn't give the platform enough data to work with. Ultimately, you're not going to strike a home run on the first try. We just so happened to with Justin because we had already tested these scripts with dozens of agents. So we knew which scripts were kind of going to perform the best already. But from there, like I said, even testing something like energy can play a big role. And at the end of the day, even your best ad is going to run dry. So what we do is we take the ad that performed the best while it's performing good. We make a few other versions of it. So when it begins to die down, these ones start to pick up. And we've already done the split testing down here in order to find the one that's working best. And that way, there's always a consistent flow of leads coming through the pipeline. And there's never weeks or days of just no leads coming through, essentially. Then we posted these ads on YouTube. Let me know if you want a video breaking down of how to actually set up and post these campaigns, the copy to use, etc. But after they went live on YouTube, all these leads were taken to an actual landing page with an opt-in survey. So we custom built him a landing page with questions for the leads to answer in order to qualify themselves. Just because if we only, for example, ask them for their phone number, email, and name, that would be fairly low friction and we'd be prioritizing volume over quality at that point. Like I said, Justin's whole strategy compiled of quality. So we wanted to optimize for that on the landing page as well. On top of that, the copy on the landing page should make it extremely obvious that once they give you their information, they will receive the value that they showed interest in. They will receive the lead magnet, they will receive the solution to the problem. And every single landing page is actually custom built for every single lead magnet that we have for consistency from the lead's perspective. So if we made just one very broad, general landing page to use for every single offer that we ran, it would be off-putting, and that way a lot more people would click on the page but not actually take the time to fill out their contact information because they were just thrown off and something didn't seem right. Like for example, let's say they clicked on an offer to receive a seller's guide, and on the landing page it says, what kind of home are you looking to buy? That's not necessarily consistent branding or consistent messaging, so it can be a little bit off-putting. And then on top of that, that way all the words on the landing page can be consistent as well. So the very big header at the top can say, thinking of selling sometime soon? Fill out the contact information below to receive your seller's guide, instead of just more vague, less specific language. And so, like I said, instead of just getting these people to fill out their contact information, like phone number, email, and name, we asked them a few more questions in order to optimize for quality. And a lot of the time, the more questions you add, the higher quality these people will be. Only the most motivated ones will actually take the time to fill all this out, but you can overdo it. So you have to find a middle and a balance between volume and quality. I believe we have 3 to 4 questions on his specific landing page, essentially just asking them what they're actually trying to do, what their budget is, what their timeline is, everything like that. And then after that, they fill out their contact information. So a few questions and then contact information. And with YouTube videos and landing page qualifying questions, like I said, that's added friction. So the cost per lead tends to be a little bit higher. But usually it pays off because these people are actually serious about moving forward. And if, for example, on your video ad, you're seeing a good click-through rate in the actual Google Ads Manager, but you're not getting any submissions, then that's probably a landing page problem. So you're going to want to change copy or the questions that you have on the landing page according to the performance, and you just judge it. If it's performing fine, if the click-through rate's great and the leads are coming through, then keep it. But that's just sort of what to do in case you notice that your click-through rate is good, but no people are filling out the actual form. Now, after they fill out that form, one other very important aspect is a thank you page video. So instead of just taking them to your website or just saying thank you for your information and that's it, falling off the face of the earth, having a thank you page video after they fill out their contact information has gotten us extremely good results. Essentially, it just reinforces their decision. It builds trust with you. It makes them feel like they didn't just get scammed out of their information or something like that. And like you actually care and are working on providing them with their solution as soon as possible. On top of that, it sets the proper expectations for what working together will look like and gives them a clear outline of next steps and what to expect. So that's why a thank you page video is extremely important. These people always need to know the next step and never be left in the dark. Now, after you've got all that set up, you just watch the results pile in and you, like I said, optimize from there. So this is a screenshot of the campaigns. This is that high energy video that performed the best. As you can see, I can break down the statistics here. He had a very good interaction rate. So 37% of the people that saw the ad interacted. He spent a total of $547 over the course of a month, so between September 1st to September 30th. Like I said, the cost per lead was significantly higher. It was $30. Usually on platforms like Facebook and Instagram, we aim for a cost per lead of $10 or lower. So the cost per lead was higher, but like I said, it paid off. So over the course of those 30 days, he had a total of 18 people that came through. 18, and 14 of them turned to in-person home evaluations. So that shows quality wins over quantity every time. So just to recap, those are the 3 steps that I said I was going to mention in this video. So setting up the actual strategy, the actual execution, and what the scripting will look like. After that, what the process looks like for these leads and the importance of keeping up proper expectations. After that, you really just optimize your ads accordingly, film new ones every now and again when some begin to fall off, and you just rinse and repeat and double down on what is working. Now, after that, I mentioned at the beginning that there's kind of a 4th step to all of this. It's actually converting these people after they come through into appointments. So all these leads should get channeled into your CRM. From there, you give them a call, figure out if they're actually qualified. If they're not, then that's totally fine. They go back into the CRM and they continue to receive value from you, continue to get nurtured till you give them a call again, and hopefully they are qualified at that point. If they are, then you obviously pitch them and upsell them on the actual offer, meeting them in person or even over the phone is fine as well. If they say no, they're not quite ready yet, and that's completely fine. Once again, they get taken back into the nurture sequence, into the CRM. At a later date and time, you reach out when they're ready and you pitch them again. If they say yes, perfect. That's going to be you at your in-person home evaluation. So that is the entire system of how you can set up and run your own video ads in order to get in-person home evaluations or just in-person appointments in general using online leads. Let me know if you want a video breaking down what the CRM automations and nurture sequences would look like, what to actually say when you give them a phone call in order to try and qualify them, how to properly pitch them, and then from there, obviously, set up the appointment. That's pretty much it. I hope you got some value out of this video. Subscribe for more.